All right, so we're gonna go over an example of the social media quiz project. So let me pull up the quiz or the project here. And so you can go over any of these types of examples. How well do you know your K-pop? What kind of animal are you? Which computer is best for you? And then how funny are you really? So you can use those for inspiration, or you can kind of make up your own. There are a bunch of examples here as well if you want to go to BuzzFeed and see all these different types of quizzes that are out here. Harry Potter quizzes, personality quiz, best couple in the CW, whatever you want, it's right there. So it says here we need a minimum of 4 questions, 1 question per backdrop. Each question should have a minimum of 3 choices that the player can click on. And then when the player answers, the backdrop should switch to a new backdrop with the next question, update the player's score. Okay, so let's see. Let's kind of find a social media quiz, actually. Let me plan this. All right, so I'm just gonna open up an empty document real quick, and I'm going to plan out this social media planning trivia plan. And in this plan, I'm gonna have 4 questions. So the first question that I'll have in this trivia, let's make kind of, let's see, what is my favorite show? We'll do Pokemon. We'll do a Pokemon quiz. All right, so I'll put that down. We have a Pokemon quiz happening. And then in this Pokemon quiz, what we'll check is, how about this? We can show like a silhouette of a Pokemon, and then we can make it like, okay, how much of a Pokemon master are you? So Pokemon master. So they used to do this on all the Pokemon shows. And so we'll do 4 questions. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then our first one, let's get out, let's look up some Pokemon silhouette. There we go. Nice. And we'll be able to determine, okay, what is this Pokemon? And then we'll be able, if they get it correct, we'll say, okay, you're a Pokemon master if you answer all 4 correct. And then if you don't get it correct, then you're a Pokemon newbie. Maybe you shouldn't be a Pokemon trainer. So we'll have like different tiers. Like we'll have like Pokemon master if you get 4 correct. If you get 3 of these correct, we'll do like gym leader, or we'll do like elite 4, and then we'll do gym leader. And then as you're just starting out, you're a Pokemon trainer. All right, so if you get 1 of the questions, actually we need a 5th one, because if you don't get any of them correct, we'll just do a Pokemon newbie. Pokemon noob. There we go. So like if they don't get any questions correct, they'll be a Pokemon noob. If they get 1 question correct, they'll be a Pokemon trainer. They get 3 or 2, they'll be a gym leader, and then 3, they'll be part of the elite 4, and then if they get all 4 correct, they'll be considered a Pokemon master, and we'll just go from there. So what we need are the 4 questions, and so we'll do like Pokemon silhouettes, and let's see, we've got some good ones here. What I really want, let me change up the tools here. I want something that I can use, labeled for reuse. Oh geez, this is going to really limit me. All right, that's fine. Let's just go, we won't filter it. We'll just keep going with it. And if they have some marks, we'll just leave the marks there. So we have this one right here. So who's that Pokemon? Hola, and this is exactly what we kind of want to fill out. So what I need to do here is I need to save this image. And we'll do a new folder for Pokemon. Apparently I already have a folder for Pokemon. Pokemon images. Okay, and so we'll have the Charmander silhouette right here. And I actually like that it has all these options. So Charmander, Jolteon, Charmeleon, Flareon, or Charizard. So we'll do that here. And the answer will be Charmander. And then the options will be Charmander, Jolteon, Charmeleon, Charizard, or let's go with Pikachu. All right, so this looks like this looks pretty cool. Let's keep going with this, see what other things that we have in here. All right, yeah, let's just pick number 11. Who's that Pokemon? Voltorb on our answers. So these are going to be our 4 questions, and we'll go here with this. Let's see what we can do now. Okay. So each question, so the quiz should have a minimum of 4 questions, 1 question per backdrop. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to have four backdrops, and the 4 backdrops are going to be those questions in order. So let's see here. I want to upload a backdrop real quick. Actually, can I just upload all of these backdrops at once? Backdrops. Okay, so here we are. We only have 1 stage, but you can see that I have all 5 of these backdrops. So I can change the backdrop as we go through here. Let me actually just get rid of this one. I don't need that one. And we'll start with Charmander. And so then we'll have some text at the top and say, who's this Pokemon? Now, I don't think I have the option to do Pokemon text, but we could do like pixel. Who's this Pokemon? There we go. That looks like kind of like Pokemon-y. And then I want that to be blue. Can I just pick a blue? Why do I have to do all these colors? All right, let's just do that. Make it more blue. All right, who's this Pokemon? And then what we'll say with this is we'll give options. We'll give options for it. Okay, so what can we do with the options? I guess what we could do is, that one was Voltorb. I don't need any of these here. All right, so each question should have a minimum of 3 choices. I think that's going to help us out. And then we'll reduce the number of choices that we create in all of these. That way there are going to be less buttons to click. Okay, nice. So then the first one's Charmander, so we'll do, we'll make that one easier, so we'll take out Charmeleon and Charizard. With the Metabod, let's see, we can take out Metapore. And then Metadot. And then with the Voltorb, we want it to be a little bit harder, so we'll leave it as Electro, Jigglypuff, and Voltorb. And then with the Mewtwo, I do like the Mewtwo and the Mew3, so we'll go Mew, Mewtwo, and Mew3. Okay, so we'll keep it with this. You know, I do this all the time, but let's see. We'll do a Pokemon social quiz. There we go. Now we have our title, our working title. So who's this Pokemon? And then I actually want it to be a little bit smaller. Can I do that here? Give it a little bit smaller. I can, but I do need to select more of it. It is a complete image, so we'll make it a little bit smaller. Who's this Pokemon? There we go. That looks pretty nice. Center it. And then we'll put in some text boxes here. And then the first one, the first option, And we'll have them type in A, B, or C as they're putting in this information. That's how they're going to select their answer. So the first answer is going to be Charmander. And we'll have answer choice A. I really like this pixel font. And then we'll do answer choice B is going to be Jolteon. And answer choice C is going to be Pikachu. All right. And so then the user is going to come in and they're going to say, all right, it's going to be answer choice A, it's going to be answer choice B, or it's going to be answer choice C. And then once they select something, it's going to go to the next background. So I'm going to set up all the backgrounds real quick, and then we'll get into the code that we're supposed to be doing. To the instructions. The player answers, the backdrop switch to a new backdrop with the next question, update the player's score. All right, so we're gonna want the player's score. So if they have a score, we're going to go and we want to now create a variable. We'll make it my variable. And then we will name this, can I change the name here? Okay, let's change this, make a variable, and the variable will be score. All right. So that's gonna be the score variable. We don't want it to be a slider. We do large readout, and I'll just do normal readout, that's fine. But I do want it to be down to the bottom left, okay. When we start, when the green flag is clicked, let's do this, it looks. All right, so when the program starts, we're going to want to change this up. So when the program starts, we'll do, we want to set the variable to 0. No matter what, we'll set the variable to 0. And then we also want the background, so switch background. We don't want it to be, we always want it to start whenever we hit the green flag to reset. We do the green flag to reset, and then it's going to set the variable to 0, and it's going to pull the Charmander question. So then once the Charmander question hits, what are we going to do here? We're going to say, all right, we want to be listening. So if the background is on here, let's see what we can do. So we want it when a certain key is pressed, but how about this? We'll set up a listener for all the possible answers, for all the A, B's, and C's, and then we'll do a check to see what background we're on, and if that's the correct answer, then we'll up our score. So let's see how that works. So when okay, so when the space key, but is going to be A. All right, and then we want one for B. And then we want another one for C. All right, so when one of those three things happens, we are going to determine what are our possible answers. So first thing is going to be, what are we in? So, all right, so when the A key gets pressed, if we're on the Pokemon, if we're on the Charmander silhouette. All right, so let's do this. If, we're gonna want else. So if we're on, okay, how about this? If, when the A key is pressed, all right, let's drop this thing in here where we set it equal to. And we're not gonna set it equal to 50. So if the backdrop name, we'll do backdrop number of the stage. Does that go in there? Should go in there. There it goes. So if the backdrop number of the stage is 1 and they press the A key, then we want to increment their score. Okay, so we'll go variables and we will change, not my variable, we'll change score by 1. So otherwise, and then we'll change the backdrop, we'll switch the backdrop from here to our second one to our next backdrop. Do I want it to wait? Yeah, just switch it to the next backdrop. And then what we'll do is, otherwise, I'm still going to want it to switch to the next backdrop. Okay, but I'm not going to change the score. So I'm right here, and I'm going to press A. And you can see that our score incremented by 1. And it only updates to 1 when it's on this one. So if I press B here, I don't want the score to update. So this got updated by 1. So if I press B here, I don't want the score to update. Or if I press C here, or if I press the space bar. But if I press A, I want the score to update properly. Okay, so if it equals 1, if it equals that first stage, okay, let me go through here. So this one is A, Metapod would be B, Voltorb would be C, and Mewtwo would be B. Okay, so on stage 1, I'm gonna want Charmander, I'm gonna want A to be the answer. If I'm on stage 2 or 4, I'm gonna want answer choice B to be the answer. All right, so then that's where these and or is going to come in. All right, so that's when B is going to be pressed. All right. So let's reset my score, but I did not set my, oops, because I have it set, there we go. So now my score went back to 0, perfect. So now when the B key gets pressed, that's going to be on stage 2 and 4. So let's bring that if statement in, if else, all right. And we're going to want to see if is the backdrop of the stage equal to 2 or 4, because those are the options where we can check it. So we'll go here. I want the or to happen. So if this is true or this is true. So if the backdrop numbers, so boy, I need the equal part first. I want to put that into there. And then I want to put another one into there. Okay, there. And then I want to put that into there. Come on. Pull this off real quick. There we go. Well, it's getting pretty big. So if the backdrop number of this stage, get in there, is equal to 2 or 4, all right. And I'm getting the backdrop numbers from right here because it says 1, 2, 3, 4 over here in these corners. So if it says 2 or 4 and then the answer key is pressed. So if it says A, all right, so on this one, the answer is Metapod. So if that happens, we want to update the score. So we'll change score by 1. And then we'll switch the backdrop to the next backdrop. Okay, so then switch backdrop to our next backdrop. And then switch backdrop to our next backdrop, and we won't update the score otherwise. this whole thing with the weight, I don't think it really matters. They're pretty similar over here, and I didn't read both of them very clearly. And so then on answer choice C, the only one that's answer choice C is question 3, and we're going to do the exact same thing there. So we'll do a control, if else, and then if the backdrop stage is this, then we'll do that. Actually, let me just copy this. Okay, but if it's equal to stage 3, we're gonna change the score by 1, and then we're gonna go to the next one. All right, so let's test this out. Who's this Pokemon? This Pokemon is Charmander. Okay, this Pokemon is going to be Metapod, but let's see what happens if I put Caterpie. All right, I didn't get an update score and it went to the next one automatically. This guy is Voltorb, so let me push C here. All right, and I got an updated score. And then who's this Pokemon? This one is Mewtwo, so I'm gonna push B and let's see what happens. And it takes me back to the beginning, and I don't want it to take me back to the beginning after that. All right, so on the last one, what we can do is we'll do another if here. All right, so I'm gonna have to add an if statement into both of these to see, okay, what's happening here. Okay, I like this here. All right, so if it's equal to 2, or if the backdrop number of this stage is equal to 4, then we want to get a point. So then we will change the score by 1. After we change the score by 1, we do want to go to the next backdrop. But if it's the 4th one, we don't want it to go to the next backdrop. We want it to go to the finishing screen. Okay, so what we'll do is, oh man, that's gonna be 4 other backgrounds. That's fine, we'll just make those real quick. Let me draw a control. Awesome, so we could do another if statement. If we want another equal sign, so if it's equal to 50, if the backdrop number, not equal to 50, if it's equal to 4, we'll put the backdrop number in here. All right, so if the backdrop number is the last question, then we're going to tally up your score. So we'll tally up the score. So if either one of those cases is true, then we'll have the score changed by 1. Now, if the backdrop of the stage is 4, okay, that's easy, that's easy. I just had the wrong, I want an if else here. Okay, we'll put that entire thing in there, get rid of that. So if the backdrop of the stage is 4, then we go to the finishing screen. Otherwise, we just switch the background to the next backdrop. Oh, that was easy. I don't know why I've been using that the entire time. But if the backdrop of the stage is 4, we're gonna go to, how about this? We'll have 2 separate outcomes. We'll have 2 separate outcomes. If you are, so if you got 3 or 4 questions correct, you are a Pokemon master. Otherwise, you're just a Pokemon trainer. We'll just have 2 extra backdrops. Okay. Oops. Okay. All right, so backdrop 1, we'll name this Pokemon Trainer. And this one will be Pokemon Master. All right, keep working. All right. And then here, we'll say, great job. We also want to put in press the green flag to reset. Great job. Let's move this over just a bit. All right, that looks good. And this one here. Press the green flag to reset. Okay. So if the backdrop was stage 4, and then we'll check to see what the score is. So if the score is greater than or equal to 3, then we'll say they're, actually, you know what? They have to get all 4 right, okay? So if it's equal to 4, then we'll say they're a Pokemon Master. Otherwise, we'll say, sorry, you need to keep training, all right? So then we'll say, if put an if else right here. That way we'll keep track of everything. If it's greater than 3, so if, let's see, we need the sensing. How can I see what the score is? Aha, operators. There it is. Okay, so if the score is greater than 3, okay? So if it's greater than 3, then it could be 4 or more. Then, so if it's greater than 3, then we will switch the backdrop to Pokemon Master. Otherwise, we'll switch the backdrop to Pokemon Trainer. And so if the score, so I need to find a way to put the score in here. Haha, there it is. So if the score is greater than 3 on that final one, then we'll switch it and we'll say you're a Pokemon Master. Otherwise, you're just a Pokemon Trainer. Let's see how this works. So who's this Pokemon? This Pokemon is Charmander. Great, we got a point for that. Who's this Pokemon? This one is Metapod. We got a point for that. This one is Voltorb. We got a point for that. And then lastly, this one is Mewtwo. And it says, you're a Pokemon Master, great job. Press the green flag to reset. And it looks like I can get past that, but that's fine. I'm not really worried about that. We'll hit the green flag. We'll assume in this case that the user will do exactly what we want them to do, even though that never happens. So who's this Pokemon? Let's see if we get one wrong. We'll say that this one's Charmander, and this one's Caterpie, and then this one is an Electrode, and then we'll call this one Mew. And now it says you're only a Pokemon Trainer, keep working, press the green flag to reset. There it is, we have created a social quiz for Pokemon, and just by changing the backdrops. I know that this final key press is a little bit hard, so I do really want you guys to focus on checking all of these different scenarios, really keep track of that score. And if you guys need any help, I'm Mr. Hernandez, and I'm always here to help.